Okay, so in this topic we'll talk uh, about right from the starting of where we grow our crops to our food to till the end where we eat it. Okay, the whole process will be under one company. Okay, so let's dive into the details. Okay, I actually my when I started my first startup and it failed. So this was the whole idea. The ultimate vision was this. I named it Minna Knows after my I'm in the name of my auntie. And anyway, it's a sad story, but the tagline was food for all. Okay, and that is what we are going to discuss today in details. uh, okay, the future, I mean, there are already some companies, you can search them, or I'll give the link in the description, like Aero Farms or Baveri Farming. What they do is that they have these vertical farms. Okay, like in a building, in in stacks. um, Small plants are grown, like lettuce or these onions, and these kinds of crops are grown on a regular basis whole of the year. And they don't need fertilizers, they don't need pesticides, because it's in a controlled environment. And Bowery farming, what it does, which Aerofarms doesn't do, is that they also implement AI into it. So it controls the amount of water given, temperature, everything, lighting. So similarly, we can do is with minimum amount of resources and water and all, year long we can produce these crops. We can genetically modify them to grow faster and give more produce in a short period of time, and we can do it again and again and again. And we can have, like for example, there is a beautiful article where which I read, that there is drip irrigation that we read, there is this sprinkler kind of irrigation that we read, and the normal conventional irrigation, which where a lot of water is lost. But what they do is that they convert this water into vapor. Okay, and that vapor goes and touches the roots, and the roots then take them in. So with the least amount of water, they are able to irrigate a lot of, give water to a lot of plants. There are some commendable development in vertical farming. You don't need to do novel research. You can bring in those ideas and you can add some of your own, and you can set up the vertical farms. That's point one. Point two is, which will also address, is non-veg. That already extreme cruelty and torture to animals, say from poultry to beef, or to a lot of to pigs, for pork and lambs, so is done. And for meat. Okay, now we have in the market, there's a lot of news about artificial meat, which is not mainstream yet. If you can it is actually generated from these what to say, fungi or bacteria. It's the protein is extracted and it's compressed into meat form. Okay, if you can make it taste more and more and more like real chicken or real mutton, then people will accept it slowly. Let's keep that aside and focus on the system that we're going through. So our production is over. Okay, we have brought in the farming from farmlands to a building. The benefit is that a lot of cost saving in fertilizers, pesticides, and manpower, because a lot of the farming can be made automatic through robots. And so our farmers, you can at one point you can say that they are losing, they will lose their livelihood, but in other you can say that they are free now. Our Indians are free now from producing food, and they can actually delve into more important and productive jobs, which will take our country further. Now, once that is, and also what happens is that vast stretches of land at cheap rates, we get it in forest areas or villages, far off places, and there the vegetables or fruits and these crops are produced, and then they are transported to the cities, where they're and they're processed also in the nearby area, then they are transported. So a lot of these things cost a lot of money, mainly the transportation, so if you can cut, if right, for example, in Bhubaneswar we have a lot of restaurants to provide vegetables and fruits, and if you can directly produce that right in Bhubaneswar, our transportation cost is saved. So a lot of cost cutting can be done through this process, and this is the first step. Second step is that bringing that and making food out of it, eatable food. We can have our own cloud kitchens at first, at the initial stages. In Zomato or Swiggy, we can have cloud kitchens. So for those who don't know what cloud kitchen is, let me explain. It's a kind of a restaurant, okay, but where you don't serve any people. You just have a kitchen. You don't need fancy decorations. You don't need serving people. You don't need a lot of manpower. You just need good cooks, and you have to cook extremely tasty food. Okay, that is most important. Okay, because you are not serving anybody, you can set up those cloud kitchens in remote places, in apartments, in buildings, right in your home, or where it's not there is no market. Even there you can set up your cloud kitchen. Not just that, you can have different restaurant names right in from one kitchen. For example, people prefer to buy a tandoori item from a shop or a restaurant named Tandoor King, rather than a restaurant named Sri Lal. Okay, but actually Sri Lal might be providing you with a better, much better tandoor than Tandoor King, but you will be biased by the name. So similarly, right from one kitchen, you can cook, continental to Chinese to tandoor to anything, and for different types of cuisines, you can name the restaurants differently, right from one kitchen, at no extra cost. The taste has to be good. The methods, you have to keep a separate methods for every kind of cuisine. Like Chinese item should not taste like a Punjabi item. That's it. And you will just need a system to update, like online, which order came from which place and all, and number. It can be done at a very low cost. Now this is a cloud kitchen. Okay, so once we have a farm in place, the vertical farms will bring in that produce, and we can start selling through these online platforms like Zomato, Swiggy, or Uber Eats. And first we can acquire some customers. Right when we deliver the package to them, inside we can place some coupons. Okay, that now if you buy from our website, you will get 20% off. So then we can convert those customers of Zomato to our customers. Okay, so slowly we will gain traction, and we'll get our customers, and they will bring it to our platform. And because we are producing food at a large scale, and at a central place, it's centralized food production, that I say, that you are cooking, like say paneer butter masala, you are cooking at one place for a lot of people. So you will just require one utensil and one gas, and for one manpower is also reduced. So cost cutting will be there also. The most important thing why this will work is cost. Okay, in the conventional way, a biryani, a restaurant can give a biryani at the cost of 100. It cannot go less than that, or else it will go into losses. But you can give it at even 50, because all your costs in the back end, you have reduced all the costs. So you can competitively price your products or the food, and which no one else can do. Okay, so it requires a lot of planning, a lot of planning and funding beforehand. But once you capture the market, it will be very difficult to uproot you out. Okay, and it is disruptive. It is definitely disruptive in the food industry. If it is done properly, it will be highly disruptive. Now, okay. So once once you put the price down, people will start buying continuously from you. Then you can put in your next step, that is providing meal plans, monthly meal plans or yearly meal plans, that you pay once, and all through the month or year we will give you money at your doorstep. We'll give you food at your doorstep, and not just the same kind of food every day. Okay, we'll provide you different food. Like Monday you will have a different food, Tuesday you will have a different food, and depending on your tastes and all, we will have a separate branch completely which will be always monitoring that okay, taste has to be different. We can say that as R&D in taste. Okay, we can have that, we can afford that because we're doing it in a massive scale. Okay, so which small restaurant or small food court can do, actually. So we can experiment with new items and all. So we'll give them regularly every day, and we'll have different categories. For example, what's your aim? For example, your aim is to be a bodybuilder, or your aim is to or you are a diabetic, or you want to decrease your cholesterol. So accordingly the food meal plannings will be done. Okay, for example, you don't want any oil in your food at all. Okay, but you want it tasty, we can make it happen when we will give you at a very cheap price. So if this is done and given, I don't find a reason why people won't accept it. Going a step further to that, what we can do is that we can capture at the initial stages, we can capture the office and school canteens. Okay, right now school and college canteens, they do not provide good food at great prices, that is for sure. Okay, it is a tedious job, it is a difficult job to actually get what to say, to convince the school principals and management to allow us to sell there. But it can be done with with a lot of persistence, it can be done. Once we start providing to school children or college or office, I'm talking about initial stages, good food at extremely cheap prices, even the quantity is good and quality is good, taste is good. So we'll gain automatic word to mouth advertisement from there. Now coming to a step further, that we can give customizable services. Okay, for example, this will be high paying, you need to pay extra amount for this, but those who are diet conscious will definitely choose it. For example, I am this, I have thyroid this much, I have this much, and this is my medical report, and I want to be this. For example, I want to be a bodybuilder. So diet for you will be completely different from it's not generalized, it has to be made particularly that. For example, you are a student, your diet is different. For example, you are a singer, your diet is different. The job you do or what you expect to do accordingly, and in relation to your body, it will differ. We can provide you, a company can provide you a personal dietitian who will keep a check on your diet, and accordingly a diet will be sent to you on a daily basis. And anytime you want to stop it, for example, you are out of town and you want to say that okay, for 3 days I don't want anything, you can just through the app you can do that easily. But we want to completely take over the food industry, that if you are eating our product only. Okay, we'll provide an array of products, starting from perishable food products like your daily meals and all, to biscuits, to snacks, to anything you can imagine, to even soft drinks. But it has to be health conscious, and we will take care of that. So once we massively take a chunk of the market and people are actually eating our product, we can actually make big changes. We can cut down cholesterol and all, and we can it will be a satisfaction that okay, we are actually making the society healthy through our food, and this much number of people are eating every day from us. Okay, we are completely taking care of the food eating needs. Okay, and you don't need to give the same food again and again and make it monotonous. You can always change it, and for that we'll have a different department which will be taking care of that. So these all can be done if it is if it is done on a massive scale, and you have to keep a check right from production, because cost is extremely important. If you give, all this can also be done right now, but if you do such a system in the conventional way, cost per meal will be 500 or 1000, or minimum 300, and all people cannot afford that. So what's the point? Okay, we want even a normal person, from middle class or even lower middle class to afford it, and to make, and he should have the confidence that okay, I can make it a part of my daily life. I can daily eat from here. Okay, they have to be completely confident, and they completely trust your company that okay, if I'm eating from here, I will remain healthy, and the cost is very less. Plus, there are only benefits and benefits. Say each home is for only cooking, they're wasting hours and hours. Okay, our mothers and sisters, they're wasting hours and hours, just they're cutting the vegetables, washing them, a lot of waste of water, and every house has a gas. So because it's distributed, a lot of gas is being wasted, a lot of water is being wasted, a lot of energy and time of the people is being wasted, just because they have to eat, and not always they make good food. Whenever you want, you can make food, but let's not make it a necessity that okay, you have to cook so that we eat. And mainly people do it because it costs less. Okay, if you get extremely good food at very cheap prices, I bet maximum people will stop cooking. Why should they? Even those who can afford now, they have stopped. They are completely relying on Zomato, but the cost is really high. So you can, and the food is not like you can eat daily for good health. Okay, we can change the scenario step by step, right? Controlling everything right from the production till the end user. Everything will be controlled by one company under one roof and one management, and I bet it will be the biggest disruption in the food industry if this is done correctly. That's it. Thank you.